Hello and welcome to the Real Talk Podcast with Kelly and Avery. We're your hosts, Kelly Berger and Avery Roberts. We are two rare ladies living with congenital muscular dystrophy, CMD.
The show where we amplify voices, break down barriers, and celebrate the power of disability identity. Whether you're living with a disability, supporting someone who is, or just here to learn, you're in the right place.
Where wit, wisdom, and reels are all part of the party. So sit down with us. We're tearing down stereotypes, one reel at a time.
It's a front row seat to bold conversations and the thriving disabled lifestyle, and we're ready to get gloriously uncomfortable.
Let's get loud, proud, and empowered. Real power, real stories. We are diving into the glamorous world of math today. Are you guys ready? And we're not talking about the traditional math, the algebra or calculus. We're talking about P math. Yes, math about P. The uniquely disabled calculation of when you can pee, where you can pee, and those that help us pee. So, Avery, are you ready to get into this topic today?
Yeah, I know. I feel like we're like teaching a class.
Ready, kids? Let's
Yeah.
learn.
But okay, so if you're new to this concept, P math is basically the calculus of disabled daily life. And this is just a constant low level equation running in the background of our brain daily, 24/7, day in and day out. So I feel like we're calculating how long it's been since we last went to the bathroom, how long until our next chance to go to the bathroom. There's many steps. Will the bathroom be accessible when we go to the bathroom? And will a caregiver be around? And then probably most important, should we stop drinking water right now? I feel like for me at least, like that's like the biggest step in the equation.
Right. It's such a mix of time, logistics, like what environment are you in? How are you feeling that day? Is it like a bad body day where you're like, you're in there more? Or yeah, it really is just a constant thing in the back of our heads that we have to navigate.
And it's less about numbers and more about logistics, like you said, Kelly. And it's literally like planning a military operation, but for your body.
100 hours, right?
Yes.
It started out like military time. And
Exactly.
Yep.
So I feel like we should give an example. I was just at a conference yesterday. It was 2 hours away from where I live. And I was there the whole day. Left at, I would say, like 7 a.m. Got there at like 9:45. The conference was from then to around like 3:30, and then went out to dinner with the speakers. And so I didn't get home until around, I would say like 9 p.m., which is better than I thought. But that whole day, I did not go to the bathroom. And because of that, I had to think about how much water I would drink, how much I would eat, because I didn't want to get too uncomfortable. And so it's all those factors and variables that get put into this equation. And I think that a lot of people don't realize they're even thinking about it or considering it. But we are when we don't choose to drink the amount of water that we need to. And if you know me, you know I get dehydrated very easily. And so that is not great for me, just because obviously that's heading more towards the dehydration than the hydration and keeping your body healthy. But people always joke that I like don't have a bladder just because I never have to go to the bathroom. But I think it shows that like this is something from a very young age that's been ingrained into our daily lives, right, Kelly?
Yeah, I think for me too, it's also like training our bodies. Like for me, like learning your limits of like, oh yeah, like 2 hours, 4 hours, that's great. Like 6 to 8 hours, okay. Like my body, you're gonna be hurting or it's gonna be uncomfortable. So I think it's kind of just like learning your limits and knowing what you can and can't do to where it's gonna be like an issue and a problem, which that is, that more sense of urgency. But yeah, it really is. I know I just like any able-bodied person who just like roll up to the movies or a gas station and just, pop in and it's no big thing like whenever they have to go. But for us, when we have to go, it's not really a have to go moment. It's a carefully calculated, planned moment with a person that can assist us. And, hopefully an accessible bathroom, when they have them or if it's a family bathroom. But yeah, it's all about just kind of learning your body and just trying to get by with what you can and can't do. And props to you for lasting that long. I know
Thank
with
you.
age, I don't think it's gonna like hold up forever, but definitely when you're young, stretch it when you can because yeah, I'm like hurting thinking about that Avery cheese.
I don't know, but it, like, literally just happened, so it's, like, a
You
firsthand
had to, yeah.
experience. But I think as anyone who knows someone who lives with a disability, or if you do live with a disability, you know that every little thing in our lives entails planning and pre planning and planning ahead. And that goes exactly with doing as something as simple as going to the bathroom. And again, it's those things that people who are not in the disability community take for granted. So, like, even just going out and running an errand is a whole production of making sure that we have, first of all, the energy to. That's a huge thing that I think isn't talked about enough.
Always tired. Yes,
Always
always
tired, always
tired.
defeated, as well as just like, do we have the means to run out? Like, there's just so many factors within it. Do we need someone to go out with us? Like, not everybody's can just kind of get in our vans and go out and drive. Like, some that's not possible for some people. And so it's a whole takes planning. And so I feel like we should break down the actual variables in the equation.
Yeah, well that too. I think also like with having to adjust to your body, I think it's a way of also doing sacrifice. Like for me, it's like, okay, I can only be out for 68 hours. Do I say no to doing food or dinner? Do I say, and so like I'm turning down real world invitations because simply my body cannot make it that long. You know what I mean? By the time there's like travel time and this and that. So it is like a sacrifice too. Like I have to tell people no and they like don't understand. Like, oh, why would you not like want to do this? And I'm like, well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like and then you
Exactly.
have to go into the whole explanation of, of those things, which, making people aware is helpful and that. But I also think it's like, it's kind of sad that we do miss out on things simply because of our bodies and our abilities in that way. So, um, but yeah, let's get into it. What were you wanting to do, Avery?
I was just saying that maybe we should break down the actual barrier, not the actual barriers, the actual variables of the equation. So, like, I feel like the first variable is caregiver availability. Like, is our caregiver with us right now? When are they leaving? Are they leaving in like an hour? Do they have the strength or the training to help with transferring to the toilet? Because that is how Kelly and I go to the bathroom, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I feel like that first variable is huge because without it, there is no going to the
Right,
bathroom.
without like, I can go to the bathroom and just go look at the mirror or, like, go, like, wash my hands and, like, pretend, but, yeah, as far as the physical act of using the actual restroom, yeah, it does rely on another person, and it's also too, like, are you as comfortable with that person? Like, do they do it well? Because sometimes when you have caregivers, there's people who have different strengths and abilities, and maybe that's not like your favorite person that can do it. So you're like, do I really want to do this? Or, so it's also like making that choice too, and that sacrifice. Like, do I wait for the next one that's like a little bit better and we're like on that level better together, or do we just go for it because I'm at my max I need to just,
Right.
relieve myself. So,
And I feel that's such a good point, Kelly. Yes, we do have our favorites when it comes to caregiving, which I feel like maybe should be a whole other episode. Just um no one's perfect, but obviously people do things differently. And so we do have our favorites when it comes to caregiving. That goes person to person. Uh, like you said, Kelly, something as urgent and important as going to the bathroom overrides that sometimes.
yeah, for sure.
But I feel like the second variable is bathroom accessibility. So, like, is the bathroom actually accessible to us, and to our needs, or are they just kind of pretending it to be? Pretend
Oh, I've
that,
seen some fake ones for sure.
yeah,
And
like,
it's also funny too. A recent one that I've seen is the actual normal, like regular stall was bigger than the handicap, like accessible stall. So I'm like, I feel weird. Like I'm turning down this stall and waiting for a regular one
uh,
because it was just such an awkward setup. And like, I'm like, y'all have so much more room. Why do I get the smaller room? It was just so confusing. So yeah, the labels are not always accurate. And I would also like to shout out to and bless family bathrooms
mm-hmm,
because they are literal lifesavers.
yep,
Yes, they don't realize how truly better they're making our experience to have those available. So yeah, shout
exactly.
out to family bathrooms.
Yeah,
We need
we all
more of
know.
you.
Yeah, and I think while we're on that topic, it's important to note that like it isn't as simple as just going into a female bathroom, a women's bathroom, or the men's bathroom. Like depending on who we have with us, like our caregivers, like if there's a mom with her son and the son has to go to the bathroom, what bathroom do they go in? So that also goes along with the importance of family bathrooms, and gender neutral bathrooms as well.
Right. I know if family members and stuff. I've been in situations where obviously I like prefer a female caregiver to help me with those needs, but they weren't able to lift. So like I had to have my a family member who's a dude, like just be like, hey, lift me and then like we'll figure out the rest. And so it's a team effort sometimes. And yeah, you're not always with the same gender that's helping you. So it's like that needs to be a thing. So for sure.
And we all know the fake outs of narrow doors and broken locks and no grab bars as well. And so there are also some people who need the changing tables just because it's easier to do things on your back. And so that's also important as well. And I think also a lot of bathrooms, like house bathrooms, aren't usually accessible. And so I think a lot of people also wind up having to renovate their bathroom. I know I did, um, to suit my needs, especially just like with roll-in showers and everything. But that's also something that I think you and I see a lot. And there are some really good initiatives out there that are helping fund those renovations. So that's also something important to note. I think
Yes.
variable three is transfer feasibility. So even if the bathroom is accessible, can you actually do the transfer safely? Like sometimes it matters like what side the toilet is on, like where can you get your chair? Like again, just things that people don't think about. Is the floor slippery? That's another thing. Like
Yeah,
is there
that's hilarious to me that a lot of the bathroom floors are like shiny and glossy. And
yes.
I'm like, who made these? Like
Yes.
I literally have to have like gripper shoes because I will be a sliding in a hot mess. And then you're too like you have a caregiver like handling another person.
Right.
And it's like, oh no, if they're in flip flops, are we gonna go down with the ship right now? Because it is so slippery and yeah, okay, it looks pretty and nice, but yeah, it's awkward and definitely a hardship for us to try to not die during the transfer.
Yeah. And like is there even space to turn our chairs? Like it's not easy for like the chair to be across the bathroom, or sometimes it can't even get into the bathroom. And so we have to transfer from outside the bathroom into the
That's always
bathroom.
fun. Yes.
That's always fun, and so,
Yeah.
like, there's
You need a
just so
spotter
many.
too. Like, I have people like, get a spotter, like, don't let anybody in
Yep.
and don't come in here, please. Like, do
Yeah,
me a
'cause
solid. Yeah. You have
then
to like form a team.
it's, like, so teamwork centered, and, like, when the chair is outside the bathroom, if we try to get it as close to the bathroom as possible, like, in the doorway, then the door can't be closed, then we have to move the chair back, and so, like, it's just all these factors that make it, and that's just for the transfer alone. Like,
Yeah, that didn't even start anything. Yeah, that's just
yeah.
that. Yeah, I know. I visited one where, one of my doctor's visits has an awesome, very accommodating family restroom with an automatic door,
Oh,
which
wow.
whoop whoop,
You're like,
right?
"Even if I don't need to go to the bathroom,
But
I'm
no,
using
it's
it."
great, but you have to just hit a special button to lock it, okay? And I definitely we found that out the hard way because somebody came in
No.
mid, you know what? And so it's because it's like you press the button, it's just like gonna open. And then it's like stuck open. There, yeah, it was a whole thing. But so yes, it has its moments of being, good and bad at times. But
Yeah, and since it's automatic, you can't just push it to close it immediately, like,
right,
then
yeah,
you're gonna
obviously
throw
it's the
off
whole
the
thing.
whole
Like, oh, we gotta
system.
wait. Now we gotta
Yeah,
wait for it to it's the
that's
whole
so
thing.
funny.
Obviously, add that to the list of embarrassing moments. But
Yeah,
this is life.
yeah, and then I think the other, uh, what number are we at? 4th variable? Is just the logistical side of it. In the real world, when we're out in the real world, those logistics. So, like, if we're going on a road trip, if we're going to the airport, or if you're like Kelly Berger, you're going to a concert. If you're like me, you're going to a Broadway show. Basically, anywhere people design bathrooms without disabled bodies in mind. And so that's something that you have to take into consideration too. Like, if you're going on a long road trip, what does that PMAF look like? Do you not go? Do you try and find a rest stop that, like, hopefully would have a bathroom that would work for you? Like, especially on a road trip, like, there's no telling, like, what.
Oh god, you're open to a whole bag of tricks right there. I've had to, especially out when you're out like in the boonies of like the country,
Yeah.
like just going through random states that aren't like bigger cities. I definitely had to like go into a men's bathroom at a 7-Eleven because they had all of their storage in stock, blocking
Yep.
the women's restroom. So I'm like, cool, I got to go with like the dudes and had a whole like yeah, just the things we have to do.
Yep. And then I think the last variable, and like I mentioned earlier, this one's a little bit more personal to me, is the hydration versus holding it. That mental game. And this is the math that I feel like we don't want to admit. And sometimes we dehydrate ourselves to avoid the whole, shebang, the whole ordeal. And it's not healthy, but it's real, right, Kelly?
Yeah, and I think for me too, it's a choice of obviously water, H2O, the way to go. But I also like, occasionally like to have like a juice or a soda every now and then. It's like also the caffeine choice too. Like, what are you drinking? Is that going to make you have to like pee more? And all the frequency, like, I think that's a big thing for me too, is like, you know, do I partake in having something other than water? Am I gonna be around that bathroom more? So I think, yeah, caffeine is a big factor too, for me at least. I cannot do caffeine on the go. Definitely, it's like an at-home thing for me with caffeine, and so, like, yeah, um, it's just choices you gotta make and sacrifice. You can't always just, like, have that, fancy Starbucks when you want because it's like, is that gonna really, like, alter your day? You really have to, like, alter your plans accordingly to what you're intaking.
No, I feel like that's a perfect way to put it. Like, when we're considering, do we want caffeine? Do we want Starbucks or Dunkin'? Do we want to partake in an alcoholic drink? Like, just,
Oh, yeah. And you're really I mean, if you're able to just, like, do any of those things and not think about it. Like, I'm just like, it's so wild. Like, you don't have those thoughts. Like, why would you even think about that? I feel like that's just what our brains are just, we have to train ourselves to do because this is just the life that we live. And it's a lot. So we definitely wanted to make this episode to bring about awareness of some of the daily things and struggles that we have to go through.
Yeah. PMAth isn't just about logistics, it's totally a mental load. Just with every trip, every plan, every drink of water, it really involves a risk assessment and it's exhausting. Like this invisible calculation that we have to do all the time, but that most people don't think about. We're doing it daily, every minute of every single day. Sometimes it's hourly. Like, it's just also like there's a fear in a way. Like, what if I get to a point where like I panic and like I really need to go? Like, it's that fear too. Or like, I mean, I think we've all been in those situations. I've definitely been in those situations multiple times. Like, what if the bathroom isn't actually accessible? Like, it just adds to the fear of it and the mental load of it. But I feel like there's also pride with it because we do figure it out and we have figured it out and we adapt and we thrive and we hold um way too much pee, but we thrive.
I know if doctors are listening, they're probably like cringing, like, do not do that to your body. Do not withhold. Hydrate. Use the bathroom too. Like we know that those are things that we should do, but unfortunately, this is what we have to do to lead the lives that we do. So it's also like, try to be as healthy as you can, but also, not wanting to say no. And
Right. It takes a lot of praying to the bladder gods for sure.
yes, please be on my side today. I need you.
Yes. I would say just, us leaving our listeners with a little advice to wrap up this episode. Talk openly with your caregivers or your friends about your needs. Like you said, Kelly, like be open about if you are sacrificing something or if you're shutting a plan down or cutting it short because of that, like be honest with them. That this is just the life we live, and if they don't accept that, then F them. Like, just, and so you shouldn't have to pretend that your bladder doesn't exist, just like I'm sure they don't pretend their bladder doesn't exist. And PMAth definitely takes teamwork. I feel like that's a huge theme of the episode. And that's okay. And it's real. PMAth is real. It's complicated. Like if are not good at math, a lot of math is complicated, but PMath is, that higher level. To me it was geometry. I hated geometry in school. And so it's that, complicated math. But it's definitely a shared experience in our disability community and it's honestly hilarious, but it's so real, right, Kelly?
Yeah, we wanted to get real and raw on this. And um, yeah, I just think it's something that comes with time. And I don't think I ever, especially, I don't know, I nearly never paid attention to a watch, okay, like a clock. So, like, growing up, it was easier to do those things, and now I'm older, I need more assistance, but, like, it's so wild that it's, like, I'm constantly like, "Okay, 2 o'clock means this, plus 4 hours, plus 2 hours of travel." Like, it's just the things that are living in our brain, and, yeah, I didn't really realize that you have to pay attention so much to time, because 'cause you're
Yeah,
always on the clock.
and when
You are
you have
always on the clock.
exactly, that's such a good point, and, like, I think we all know that when you do have the opportunity to go and it's, like, a seamless opportunity, like, take
It's
it.
beautiful
Like,
moment. Take your
I feel
time.
like
Enjoy the moment.
yes,
Yes.
I feel like Kelly and I are always texting each other, like, if we're about to, like, get on the phone, if we're about to, like, get on a work call, like, we'll text each other all the time and be like, "Hold on, bathroom break, union break, like, we
Very
gotta take this
important that we do this.
opportunity." Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, but
And then too, when you find a solid bathroom, like my favorites are like the ones with like the little sitting room and lobby. And then
yeah.
for like the really bougie ones, and I'm like, oh. it's just an experience
Yeah.
too. It like smells good and yeah, everything. Yeah, I'm just like, oh yes, I needed this because yeah, those moments are few and far between. So you got to save it when it does actually, you know, align to work out and you get to use it and it goes well, everything's functioning and yes.
And hydration strategy matters. Everybody, I feel like that's hilarious coming from me. But hydration strategy matters. And don't dehydrate just to survive the day. I feel like I'm like giving myself like
Yeah,
affirmations.
you need a mirror, Avery. Get a mirror
Yes.
and then tell it to yourself.
Yes. But yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Learned a thing or two and maybe brush up on your math. Get ready, and think about that. And definitely, I say, too, if you see an inaccessible public restroom, please help us out by reporting it and try to make it easy for the next person. That's one of our things. Like, please, let's make bathroom accessibility an easier step for us so PMAth is not as annoying.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this inclusive space where disability radiates and every listen helps amplify disabled voices that deserve to be heard. We're so grateful you're on this journey with us.
We share real stories, honest conversations, and expert insights that challenge misconceptions. Because disability doesn't define us, it's just a different way of experiencing the world.
Your support keeps this beautifully disabled, slightly chaotic show rolling.
You are truly the real MVPs. We have power, real stories.